Welcome to Unbiased Analysis. Today we're trying to do walk down analysis. While we walk, we can discuss one of the issue, talk about one of the issue. In fact, Uganda, recent legislation against LGBT community. In other words, if anybody who's going to try to associate or do anything which is remotely associate to that community will be prosecuted, and the punishment is up to death penalty, which is okay. End of the day, it is extreme or not extreme. It is up to the people of the Uganda to decide. Why the hell are all the countries from the America and other countries are criticizing, especially the American, when the state to state the legislation is different, law is different for the LGBT community. Some recognize, some don't. Some just try to turn the blind eye anyway. So why not just try to focus the internal matters, especially the Americans? And why the hell Europe does the same anyway? You just mind their own business. I'm living in UK. Yes, everybody has the right to do whatever they want to do, and the legislator can do whatever they want to do. But end of the day, Uganda government has the right to do what they feel is good for them as well. And if the people, if the people feel the legislation is against human rights, it's just making them deprived to share the emotion, whatever it is, they should be protesting, should be on the streets protesting against it. But none of them are doing that. In fact, majority of the people are in favor of it, and I do not find the reason why most of the countries criticizing Uganda for that. Really don't. And because Uganda is a small country, you can go and just try to pressurize them to do what they have, to do whatever you feel is good for them. And no, you have to tell them what is good for them, like they don't know anything, like they're not human being anymore. They're just nothing else. So-called civilization has to understand that every country has their right to choose what is best for the public, best for their interest anyway. So you cannot impose the idea of something. You like it. You like something, you keep on doing it. You cannot force other people to decide what they like and what they don't want, and what they want anyway. Having said that, let's go to the other way of thinking this way, because you can pressurize the Ugandan government because of their low economic status. But having said at the same time, why not you go to the Saudi Arabia, do the same? I mean, your balls got freeze when you go to and tell Saudi Arabia, don't do this, don't do that. Tell them about the LGBT community, about the legislation. There are so many countries. There are 13 countries, or more than that even, pass the anti-LGBT legislations. So why the heck you don't talk about that? All these Western nations don't talk about them anyway, because reason is that you have business links anyway. How are you going to get the petrol and gasoline from if you're going to start criticizing them anyway? Because your interest, your business links with those countries, a powerful nation, Islamic nation, especially in the Middle East, you both got frozen, and that's what it happens. So you don't have the balls to go and tell them all what you're telling the Uganda anyway. It's just pick and choose who you try to pick and who you. The United Nations is nothing but a puppet anyway. They just pass the legislation, show the concern and everything as well, but they don't talk about that when it's come to powerful countries like Saudi Arabia, UAE, or Bahrain. They don't have concept of LGBT anyway. This idea is fed. I'm not being forced to accept. Some people have the right to accept, some people don't. Like me, I have absolute respect for the people who believes in United Kingdom to live however they want to live. But those people who believe they are LGBT community, they feel they want to be the same sex, they want to do whatever the heck they want to do, it's up to them. But they cannot force me to change my mind, what they believe, and I have to still believe what they believe. My belief is entirely different. That's called freedom of speech, freedom of belief, freedom of whatever we want to. I'm going to keep on explaining what I believe anyway. I'll give you my analysis as well. I'm going to stop for now because there's the main road and traffic noise. So yes, all the Western countries, including UK, all the European countries, UK, North America, Canada, and all the powerful countries in the world trying to criticize Uganda for what they have done, which I believe absolutely fine for them anyway. Their legislation can be based on their religious belief. All the religions in the world, like Jewish, Muslims, Christians, all of them do not believe in the concept of homosexuals, same-sex marriages or anything like that. Reason was that it is because of it is a strong belief. And if the Western countries believe very much on religious belief that people have to believe what they believe, then why not leave the UK alone? Leave the Uganda alone for that reason, because Uganda is doing what is for their best interest. But you guys, of course, you have to talk in every matter. because you're powerful, you're almighty, you have all the power, you have all the rights to do that. And everybody knows that the idea of this same-sex and LGBT is created and funded and promoted by any means necessary by all of them or the big corporations, so people can always be fighting for something for some reasons. And now that ideology is being spread across the globe as well. So this is what it is happening. End of the day, you will never see that the same sex, the issue LGBT, having that in the children of the people who are, you believe or not believe, who the most powerful or most richest one. You will never see those issues among them. It is all what you are in a middle class and lower middle class, just try cause confusion and things like that. Having said that, again, in UK and Western countries, people believe whatever they want to believe, and I'm happy for that. We cannot force them, we cannot say them. I even met them, having a laugh with them, enjoy the time with them, but at the end of the day, they don't have to force me to believe what they believe is right. So at the end of the day, none of the country has a right to force other country to do what the powerful country thinks is right for other poor countries anyway, or progressive countries as well. You have no guts to tell them Indonesia to do that, or Malaysia to do that, or to just create a legislation and go, what is good for the Western has to be good for them as well. You cannot tell the Saudi Arabia, you cannot tell the Bahrain, you cannot tell the Lebanon, you cannot tell all the countries who do not believe. There are hundreds of so many countries, not hundreds of, there are many countries who do not believe the same-sex LGBT community by any means necessary. Only people who will do that, or you can force somehow the countries can do that, is the country who are controlled by these countries, powerful countries, like Western countries who regularly provide the aid and funding in different means to keep the countries running. And those countries have no other choice but to follow the guideline or whatever the rich countries believe is good. They have to follow that, and they will do it anyway. That's called being a modern slavery and dictatorship. Dictators get funding for somebody and cause the suffering to the poor people. So yes, I do apologize. I have an unusual way of making the vlogs. I do not show my face for some reasons, but I like to show you the way I sit and things like that. So walking, one of those things I do, or sit in the nature just to do what I feel do. I cannot just sit among the people and start creating the vlog or putting the camera in front of the people's faces. I do vlogging. My job is to share what I believe it is, and as I said that I stand by something what I believe, or you call whatever you want to call it. At least I stand by something. I'm not in between, I'm not neutral to this ideology that no, I do not believe in same-sex myself, but at the end of the day, if you believe it, or somebody who's watching believe is good for you, but you cannot make me believe what you believe is good for you and have to be good for me. This doesn't work like that. So you can argue whatever you want to argue. Just leave the countries alone who do not believe that. They have absolutely right to do what is good for them. It's not going to cause a harm to you or anybody remotely associated to you anyway. So I hope this vlog will be not too much criticized. I'm very much sure once this vlog is going to be out, a lot of people from LGBT are going to be cursing me, abusing me for no reason anyway, but because that is what they can do when they have nothing else to do. They abuse anyway, but not all of them. Most of them very gentle and nice anyway. So yeah, so is having LGBT and same-sex is more or less is a hobby now. Not that they have something wrong with them or something is different with them. And more or less it's a hobby for all of them, majority of them at least. I hope this vlog caused no harms. I mean no offense to anybody, but this is what I believe and this is where I stand anyway. A man, a woman has to stand and believe to something. Otherwise, what are they? Take care.